What is going on, guys? Coach Show. It is the day after Thanksgiving, and actually a couple days after Thanksgiving are my favorite, specifically for training because, man, we just loaded up on some delicious turkey, stuffing, sweet potatoes, green bean casserole, pineapple stuffing, the pies, you name it. And our glycogen stores are filled to the max, aka we are carbed up. So I always love the couple training sessions you get once you're done Thanksgiving because the pumps are just absolutely outrageous. Maybe it's a good time to hit some PRs. I don't know, whatever it is, but I'm excited about it. And also just very thankful and grateful for each and every one of you. So I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving. Now, it is Friday, which is Black Friday. So I'm going to put the disclaimer. I'm going to be talking a lot about supplements that I use, kind of how I use them, when I use them, as well as talking about being a dad, how I'm adjusting my training, my life, my schedule, all that good stuff. But once again, I'm just putting that disclaimer out there when I do talk about the supplements because I do get paid by the company Jocko Fuel, who I am sponsored by, and I want to say that it's been phenomenal in terms of a sponsorship. Really my biggest and best sponsorship I've ever had. I do know a lot of people in the company, so I know how it operates. I know their efficacy and just a great team of people. So I do support them. I love using their products, so it's easy for me to talk about them. And if you guys are interested, right now they do have a sale, 30% off site-wide, so go check it out. But it is vital to have supplements to obviously supplement whatever you're not getting, as well as things like protein or food, because it does have calories. I've talked about these in other videos, but for me to be a high performance driven kind of individual, I need everything to be where it's got to be for me to execute. So they do help. And it, like I said, it's icing on the cake or the cherry on the top. You want to make sure you have all your other habits and behaviors in check, such as nutrition, training, stress management, emotional support, or just controlling your emotions, etc. In the morning, obviously you can see hair's kind of crazy, so we'll just kind of dive right into it, and then I'm sure at some point we will be over in Treefort gym, which everybody on Instagram always comments on, but I'll give you the grandiose tour of nothing but the finest architecture, wood, stability of the floors, all that good stuff, and show you how I get after my training session. So let's go. I just had my coffee, and I made some eggs, some hash browns, got some fuel in the belly. So I always like taking my morning vitamins and minerals when I have some food in the belly. So AKA the supplement cachet. So here we go, right? We got all our proteins up there. I want to say my favorite protein is going to be vanilla, then chocolate, peanut butter, and cookies and cream. I will say, though, that their pumpkin spice is the best tasting pumpkin spice that I've ever had in terms of protein powder, but I can only have that during the fall. I'm one of those guys, so I do save that, for next season, but I did go through like 2 bags of it during the fall because I'm just a basic white boy. But down here, okay, we have our assortment of supplements. So usually magnesium, I'll take 1 in the morning and then I actually take it at night with their nighttime formula. Brain power, I'll take it when I need it, but honestly, since my training's on point, my nutrition, my supplementation, like my brain is feeling the best it's ever felt. Joint warfare, take this obviously every day. Cold War, especially now, I take that. That's going to be just immune support. The greens, man, these are awesome. Best tasting greens I've ever had. I like the peach flavor. My wife loves the pineapple coconut, and I'm not going to lie, she pretty much robs me of my greens because she takes them so much. So they are absolutely phenomenal. And then behind that's creatine, so obviously take your creatine. We got our fish oil. I take that throughout the day. Super Krill, I haven't really taken this much. I'm interested to start maybe trying it, but since I take the fish oil, I'm kind of like, do I need this? But I know there's some krill fanatics out there. The pre-workout, this is by far my favorite. It's going to be the sour peach, but I got some blue raz, I got some rocket pop, but definitely my favorite flavor, but definitely check them out. And then once again, this is what I take at night, and this is going to be the nighttime support. So what I tend to do is, depending on what supplements I'm taking, whether they're for energy or for sleep, I kind of time it throughout the day. And something that's been really easy for me is I just went on Amazon and I stole this idea from Juji because every time I've been over there, he's like, dude, you got to do this. I've been doing this for years. It works like crazy. It takes a little bit of time, but then you're set for success. And I love being set up where I don't have to think about it and just do it. But what could that possibly be for my supplements that I take every day? Boom. We got this awesome pill container. So it's pretty big, right? Like this is like the size of my hand. I have pretty big hands and I can cover this whole thing, but you got Monday through Sunday, so 7 days of the week. And then it's going to give you your rise and shine, the mid-morning, then you have night, and then bedtime. So basically it's going to be like right when you wake up, breakfast. For me, it's either going to be dinner or lunch. and then bed, and then I can assort those throughout easily after my meals or whatever habit that I have around that time. I just pop those, boom, down the hatch, good to go. So easy way to stay covered. But yeah, so that's kind of like my morning ritual and routine. Right now what I'm gonna do, we gotta take care of the baby a little bit, do some organizing around the house. I'm gonna get changed, and then by then we'll probably start heading out to get a training session in, and I'll probably fill you in with like up to date with life, training, having a baby, being a parent, that type of deal. Hopefully get a pretty solid workout in Treefort, and then yeah, we'll just continue on with this. But I'm just having fun. It's nice connecting with you guys. I always say that I feel like right now, especially in 2024, there's so much technology, AI, everything is just overproduced, where it's nice to just have conversations with you guys, catch up, see how you're doing. I know sometimes they're a little bit longer, but hey, you know what, that's okay. It's genuine interaction. Put your comments down below. Tell me what's going on with your life. What are your training goals? How's your Thanksgiving? All that good stuff. And I'll make sure to comment back. We are all changed up. We're packing up, getting ready to go to Treefort Gym. Now I'm going to do some Jocko pre-workout, the Sour Peach, which I'll show you guys. Right there, yum. And the baby's actually sleeping, so we're gonna take the baby up. My wife and I will work out, and that's just a great time for us, right? We're always busy taking care of the baby. Sometimes we don't have us time, so it'll be great for us to be able to train together. Hopefully he stays asleep, so I'm not going to talk too loud, but I'll show you some of the property, and then we'll head over there, get a good workout in, keep this thing going. Property, these are the center blocks that I use for carrying all sorts of goodies. You can see it's a funny setup, but then yeah, here's our backyard. So that is actually Treefort Gym, once it focuses, yeah, right there. But we have a nice little plot of land. The barn gym is supposed to be over there. I'm not sure we're actually going to be able to put it on the property due to like some zoning and permits and all that crap. So if that's not the case, I'm gonna have to figure out what we're doing. But yeah, it's just like I said, it's nice. We got good amount of land here, a lot of possibilities, and may not be our forever home. Maybe a house that we spiff up and then rent out and go from there, or it may be the forever home. We're not sure yet. We're having fun. It's an older home built in 1920s, but has a lot of really cool, unique features, and it's already pretty set. But we're doing some renovations, so it's nuts. But yeah, here's the barn. And now I gotta climb a ladder to get up there, and we'll just start training and talking. So Treefort Gym, we have wife on rower, we have a basic rack, we have a bench that does some leg stuff, some plates, a window to pee out of or jump out of if you feel crazy, easy curl bar, canoe, some dumbbells, miscellaneous stuff, and then yeah, some motivation. Look at this. This is peak performance. If this doesn't get you going, I don't know what will. But I would definitely say one part about being a dad is, or a parent in general, especially with a newborn or infant, is you got to get it done wherever, however, whenever. So, no, is this the best training facility in the world? Probably not, but can we make the best of it? Absolutely. Right now my sessions are about 60 minutes. Sometimes I throw on one hour big booty mix. By the time it's done, I have to be done. Sometimes they're 45 minutes. It depends, but we can either look at it as like, oh, this time sucks, or hey, something's better than nothing. I'm going to get done what I have to get done, and I know that this will pass, right? This isn't a forever thing. It's not something that you need to dread, and it's also one of the most rewarding and coolest things, as long as you just change that perspective or mindset. So that's constantly what I'm reminding myself of. But today, it's supposed to be an upper body day. Probably gonna do some AD presses, probably some close grip benching, and then maybe some lighter dumbbell accessory work. Nothing crazy, but mainly gonna be chest, tris, shoulders. And then I'll try to hit like a back day tomorrow, maybe another leg day. But right now, if I can train 3 to 4 days a week, that's a huge win for me. And it's very important that us as parents get some sort of physical activity in. Even though sometimes we feel selfish, we need to do that. We need to have our time so we feel accomplished, we feel recharged, we have that energy, and we tackle that almost as like a main priority, and then we can give right to everybody else. If your cup's not full, how can you fill other people's, right? So let's get after it. All right, so kept it pretty simple with the warm-ups. Just did some band pull-aparts, a couple other things to make sure my shoulders are feeling good. So starting off with the AD press, obviously it's not the ideal setup here, but I'm gonna do 5 sets, 5 reps. Probably gonna shoot to be around, I wanna say like 250. So nothing too crazy. I just came off a pretty intense mesocycle, so I'm trying to slowly ramp back up. But when it comes to overhead press strength, this has been a game changer for me, doing these 80 presses at least once a week and then following it up with either a strict press or a log clean and press, like just another pressing variation. But I found my freaking triceps have gotten so strong from doing the AD press, as well as just my shoulders in general. And the weird part is I've never really cared about my bench press, but last week I hit 405 for an easy triple. So I actually do think that there's a raw bench press PR in the cards, which is not the lift I ever thought would be improving on top of my overhead. But I feel like with these variations, it's helped the weaknesses not only in my overhead, but also with my bench press. So cranking these out, right now I'm around 185. I'll probably go 205. 225, and then 245, 250. The only issue I have in here is sometimes the weights. We don't have a ton of weights in here. So in the previous weeks, I have added band tension, but I do get a little bit worried with the spotting setup. Thankfully, I have my wife here. But once again, I'm not trying to be in a position where I'm gonna be missing lifts. So looking for an easy 5x5 at the 250-ish mark, and we'll go from there. Slicky I am. All right, so wrapped up the AD press around 250 for my 5 sets of 5. Felt pretty good, left some in the tank. Didn't add bands, didn't feel like I needed issues with the spotting. If I did have my wife here, so all was good. Moving forward, now I'm gonna do close grip bench press. Since this isn't really a main lift, it's gonna be more of an accessory. I'm gonna try to be in that 8 to 10 rep range, and I'm thinking I'm gonna be right around 225. So just finished up the bench press. I actually did 4 sets because I forgot to record my sets. So I had to do a bonus round, which definitely happens. If you're somebody that videos, and you're training, you sometimes get lost in the training, which is usually my main priority, but then I forget, so I have to add the bonus set in. So I ended up doing 4 sets, 225. I was staying between that 8 to 10 rep range. Felt really good, and a big emphasis on the triceps, which is what I want to once again help with the overhead, and it just helps with my bench press lockout as well. So keeping this workout pretty short, simple, sweet to the point. One thing I really love doing, especially when I'm short on time, for any of you people that are short on time or you're a father and you need to get your workout in, is supersets or giant sets. So usually my main lift is always going to be what I put my bread, butter, focus into. Then if I have a secondary lift and I have time, I'll treat that the same way. And if I don't, I'll probably superset it with another accessory movement. So for today, I was able to do the 80 press on its own, the close grip bench press, and then from there, I'm going to superset with my dumbbell push-ups, and we're going to go back and forth between the dumbbell push-ups and then tricep band extensions. Like I said, I don't have a ton in here. You can obviously, it's pretty bare. So usually I would do another chest movement, whether it's with a machine or dumbbells, but since we don't have that, I just figured what's one way I can just fry up the chest pretty good, and I've always been a big fan of deficit push-ups. So by having my hands on those dumbbells, I can get myself to stretch a little bit further, get a good stimulus, and then go right to the banded pushdowns and just fry out the rest of the triceps. So I'm going to do that for 3 sets, back and forth. Typically in between the movements, no rest, and then when I'm done both movements, anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes rest. Not obviously ideal, but hey, something is always better than nothing, so we got to get it done. Okay, last movement is these upright banded kettlebell shoulder raises. So my buddy Mike that I've trained with, he showed me these. I absolutely love them, especially on my shoulders. I do have tears in both my shoulders. I've opted not to get surgery because I've been able to work around it by adjusting the variations, intensity, load, those types of things. So been feeling a lot better with the shoulders. My main issue was actually sleeping at night. I was getting so much pain while sleeping that it was obviously disrupting my sleep, which really throws everything off. But as soon as I started taking more care of my shoulders by managing the load, weight, variations, etc., started to feel a lot better. So what I really love about these is it takes my grip out of the equation by having the band around my wrists, and we're hitting every aspect of the delt. So we're getting that front raise motion, and then as we pull our hands apart, we're still getting the lateral and the rear head of the delt. So you're kind of hitting this variation, best bang for your buck. That's why I like them. And then the band kind of acts as your distraction for making sure that you're keeping the right tempo. So if you're too out of control and you're just kind of like flailing the weight around, it's going to bounce and mess up that movement pattern. So by doing this, I really have to control the concentric and eccentric portion of this movement. And if you do these, anywhere, I want to say between that like 10 to 15 rep range, if you pick the right weight, your shoulders are smoked. And I'm talking like insane pump, right? Like, so if you guys are here to chase the pump while also taking away things like the elbow and grip from doing the work with the shoulders, and on top of that, helping kind of as a prehab or rehab for the shoulders, this is a great exercise. And I believe that Mike got it from Judd Leinhart, who's been pretty famous on social media for having all sorts of different variations and things that are thought outside of the box, which I really do appreciate, and it gives us lifters something new to try here and there. I do think some of his stuff can be a little advanced for some people. It is very catchy, and when you see it, you're like, oh, I want to try that. So figure out what's the best progression or regression of that movement to work for you. But his whole premise is obviously be the athlete, right? So be strong, be powerful, move like an athlete, and that's something that, is near and dear to my heart. So I do like picking some things that he does and seeing how I can implement those into my programming. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this workout. So it's 5 movements. We got it done within an hour. It was a joy for me because I have my wife here. I have our newborn baby kind of just chilling in the corner. He's sleeping, so it's nice for us to be able to bond. It's not always this way, and like I said, you have to get it done wherever, whenever, however. I travel a lot during the week to different high schools and different clients. Sometimes I train at my client's house. Sometimes I train at the high school. Sometimes I'm in my living room. Sometimes I'm in the tree barn, right? And at first it can be really frustrating and be almost like inconvenient. But what I keep saying to myself and everybody that I talk to, even the clients that I work with, is something is always better than nothing. I don't care if it's 10 minutes. I don't care if it's 20 minutes. You need to figure out how to still get something in and be okay, right? Like, this isn't going to be the time for me that I'm probably going to win, world's strongest man, which never will happen. But you know what I mean? Like, you have to adjust your mindset and your mind frame around this to benefit you. Because if you don't, it's easy to get stuck in those ruts or negatively chip away at you, because even though it is such a blessing and it's the coolest thing in the world, it almost can be frustrating. And I don't even want to say an inconvenience, but we're so used to having our own set schedules, our own freedom, and our habits and the way we do things. And this totally comes in like a wrecking ball and makes you assess, what are your priorities? How are you going to get this done? How resilient can you be when chaos strikes or something that's turbulent or takes you off your path? You have to be able to adjust and pull the audibles on the fly. And once again, just change that mindset. If you have the correct mindset, I'm telling you, this is the coolest and best thing ever. It's fun, right? Like, even though we're not in some pimped out gym, like, for some reason, you guys think this is way cooler than any other gym that I've trained at. I get more DMs about the Treefort gym than I do when I'm in either the garage gym or the high school gyms that I'm at that have almost everything that I need. So that's just that quick mindset and change perspective. But we're going to gather our stuff. I'm going to head back into the house, maybe show you guys a little bit more of the setup that we have in the house, so you can kind of see, like, depending on what's going on, we have options available to you or to us. And that's where, for you guys, it's worth the investment to maybe buy some dumbbells, some kettlebells, or a little home setup if you go to a commercial gym or travel. That way you don't necessarily have those excuses and you can still get some sort of training in rather than missing it, letting that build up or cause some sort of frustration or tension within yourself or with your partner, because that is very important and vital for you to have that you time. All right, so we're going to wrap up, and I'll see you over back at the house. All right, we're back at the house. We're going to cook up some lunch. I'll talk a little bit more about some supplements and stuff like that, but kind of just showing you the rundown of how the house is laid out. Obviously, we were in the Treefort gym, so you saw that, but this is the living room. So we got dumbbells up to 45. We got some plates, an easy curl bar, bands, kettlebells, basic setup here. We got a rogue bench. We got this treadmill that Jordan was using for a standing desk at work, and I'm pretty sure it was like 100 or 150 bucks. I use this thing and have no issues. So for 100 to 150 bucks, an easy way to get your steps in, goes up to 5.0. Definitely worth the investment. But then that's what we have inside. I have a little bit of stuff scattered throughout the house. Then I'll show you our back patio. That has just a little bit more equipment. So if you're trying to get stuff done around the house, you have the options needed. Sorry, I realized that I was blowing out the ISO on my camera. So here's the back patio. So we got some bumper plates. We got some slam balls. We got some sandbags and some throw bags. And then we have a little grip bin over there. And then we got 2 boxes. And of course, you got to have your whiteboard. But that's kind of just showing you guys, you can get stuff done, buy a couple items here or there, and over time you have a setup, so no matter where you're at, you can get in something. Last thing I forgot to mention is we do have a rower that was standing up in the corner, so there's a rower as well. So if you want your cardio, you got it. If you want some conditioning, you got it. If you want some strength, you can get the bare bones and minimal done with what I just showed you. All right, so the baby's waking up. You probably hear him crying in the background, so my time is limited. He's crazy. But real fast, if you were to say, hey, Coach Joe, what are your top supplements you use on a daily basis besides the vitamins and minerals? I want your bundle. This would be the bundle, right? I'm always using these Mulks on the go. I love them because they just come already in a pre-made shake. So if you have the opportunity to buy a couple cases, these are awesome. Throw in your lunchbox, your car, wherever you're going, down them. If not, just use a shake by taking your protein. I already gave you kind of my top protein flavors, but I have to hit my protein every single day. This makes it super easy, so I'm not just consuming a ton amount of literal food. It makes it way easier to get there. Always have my creatine. The creatine's either going to be first thing in the morning or after a workout. Greens, I'm not a huge vegetable guy. I probably have vegetables mainly with lunch or dinner. So if I don't, this is just a nice, easy safety net for me to get my greens in. My wife loves these. She's not huge with the way greens taste, and she takes these every single day. I think these are the best tasting greens that I've ever had. Like I said, I'm a peach guy. This is the pineapple coconut. She loves those, so we take those. Pre-workout, okay, obviously a staple if you like pre-workouts. This does have caffeine. these are cool. This is the Jocko Hydrate. Now with these, I typically am not going to use them that much unless I'm doing a ton of cardio or I'm working around the house and I'm just sweating profusely. If I want some, usually what I'll do is just take half of this, or they actually have the hydration sticks, and I'll use half of those and I just mix it with my big thing of water. So that kind of covers all my bases there. So if you're somebody who's an endurance athlete or you're hitting hard training sessions, this is a great way to make sure that you're staying hydrated. Or if you're an athlete playing sports, my favorite flavor is going to be the orange or the lemon lime. And then I went through a big energy drink phase. I really don't drink that many energy drinks anymore. But if I did, it was going to be the Jocko Go, which only has, I think, 95 milligrams of caffeine. So it's not going to give you a crazy caffeine rush or buzz. There's no crash. All great ingredients in all these products. My favorite three for these is going to be the orange, the black cherry, or the pineapple coconut. So that's going to be my fill-in for an energy drink, or say, I'm just not feeling the vibe of a pre-workout. Maybe I can sip on that. So there's my lineup. All my favorite supplements that I take pretty much on a daily basis, besides the energy drinks. I'll take them on a case-by-case basis, as well as the hydration. But I want to put that out for you guys because it is Black Friday and they are running a 30% off site-wide sale. So if you want to try this stuff out, you have my word on it. If you don't like it, come to my house if you can find me, and we'll take up the beef personally. Just kidding. I'll probably just feel really bad and ask you if you want to train. So make your decision on what you want to do there. I also have some discounts on programming. All you have to do is go to szatstrength.net or the app, szatstrength.programs.app, and we are running sales all weekend long on custom programming templates, the app, you name it. Guys, it's Black Friday. If you got the cash and you want to make some savings, this is when you do it. I don't care about being salesy because these are all things I truly believe in or I've put a lot of time, effort, and work into. And if anything, you're supporting somebody that you pretty much know. Obviously, maybe we haven't met in person, but you've been following me for long enough. I'm the same person that I am in person, and my family and myself appreciate any sort of donation you guys make, whether it's to the supplements, the programming, or stuff you buy. We are just so grateful for you guys, especially during the holiday season. So that's all I got. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, stay a lean, mean, strength, health machine, drop a comment. I'll comment back. We'll have a good conversation. It was great catching up. I'm very busy with a lot of things that just kind of take up the time for YouTube. And to be honest with you, I'm okay with it. I would like to get to a point where I'm making more YouTube videos. We're in the works right now of whether or not we're going to be able to do this barn gym or if I have to get another space or location to do it. So stay up to date, but we're thriving, we're living. I'm pumped to be a dad and a husband. Life is awesome. So thank you guys so much. Peace. Real quick, somebody said that I look like Larry the Cable Guy, which I'm going to admit was pretty freaking funny. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but I definitely can't unsee myself as Larry the Cable Guy. But I want to be like Joey the jacked cable guy. That would be what I want to be known for. It's like, yeah, that guy looks like Larry the Cable Guy, but way more jacked. And I could die a happy man if, that's what I'm known for.